in this case has suggested that there was a racial component to it. Do you believe your grandfather is racist?
I believe he holds racist tendencies and beliefs.
Why do you say that?
He's just a stock American Christian male. It's older, you know, that's just how they are. It's the conspiracies and weird random racist things they say, yeah, and it doesn't make sense, but they're just scared.
Now, listen, you're generalizing a lot here about, you said older Christian white males, but what do you mean by that? What do you mean they're scared? Talk to me more, please.
Yeah, it's just I feel like a lot of people of that generation are caught up in this 24-hour news cycle of fear and paranoia perpetuated by some other news stations. And he was fully into that, sit and watch Fox News all day, every day, blaring in his living room. And I think that stuff really kind of reinforces this negative view of minority groups and leads people to be a little, doesn't necessarily lead people to be racist, but it reinforces and galvanizes racist people and their beliefs.
Now, apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, Clint, you said that your grandfather would say or do things apparently that you did not subscribe to that caused you to distance yourself from him. Say and do things like what? That's
right. A lot of it was the kind of QAnon level conspiracies about election denying, and then they got really weird with some Fauci dogs. I really didn't know what that meant, but I would push back on some of this stuff, and he couldn't handle being pushed back on. And
obviously, you see, he's got the cornrows, that, which, I mean, you knew you were about to be on CNN. I don't know if he was trying to portray himself to be a little more hood by having the real nappy cornrows in and not really like getting them tightened up. I'm just saying, like, he looked like you about to be on national TV. You don't think you could get it
right?
He was trying. That was
the fact that CNN and Don Lemon needed to get this young man on TV to tell us that an 85-year-old white man was racist. Is that difficult to believe? Like, this is what I mean about the media. Don't, you know, pee on my forehead and tell me he's 85 years old. That's not that difficult to believe that someone that old could be racist due to the timing that they were born, you know, a lot of things that happened during the era that they grew up in. That's not unusual. Not saying that he's right for what he did. Absolutely not. But did we really need the grandson or nephew?
The grandson.
Grandson to get on TV to tell us this. And this is how you know that they're cranking up that racial division psyop. They're trying to push that really, really hard to say, look, he was a racist man. He killed him because he was black. It had nothing to do with anything else. That's the reason why he did it. And that we should hate this man. He's gonna, you know, he's 85 years old. He's like, if he goes to jail and get convicted, which I'm sure he probably will, he's probably gonna die there.
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, I think this he's like, you know, George Zimmerman 2.0.
Yes. Right.
And so my thing is, you know, what kills me, and my thing is like this: if these people are so racist, then where is the real overt racism? Like, why is it always like this little, like, oh, he watched Fox News, so
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like everybody. Look, I'll say this, and this, you know, people know my past, and I've been incarcerated and all that type of stuff. So, I've done time with guys that were really racist, like real skinheads, real skinheads, neo-Nazis, white supremacists that would tell you that wouldn't have a problem. I mean, guys who have swastikas tattooed on their heads and faces and stuff like that, right? Like, that's real racism. They are blatantly telling you that's where they're at. How come I don't see those guys doing these type of acts? Why is it always like this little gray area type of, like, 85-year-old white man who grew up during the, you know, a time of Jim Crow South, so
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's a white Christian male, so of course he's racist. He watches Fox News. He believes the election was stolen, which last time that I checked, I didn't know, thinking that what the election have to do with racism. Like,
notice the verbiage is always the same. And they always look, well, on his social media account, he would post this and he would post that. They did that with when they found the father of one of those shooters, the one that was in Colorado.
Yeah. I remember that one.
It was the same thing. Oh, his son had these radical views and he was racist and he was this, and he posted to social media all the time about Trump. He was a Trump supporter, and the narrative is always the same. And then you get people like Don Lemon and many others to get on TV and interview a family member just to try to convince us that the person is just racist. This is what made them racist. More racist. And this is the racial division psyop that I'm talking about. It's like...
But by the way, the grandson's name is Clint Ludwig, which I believe by default he's racist, just by having the name Clint. When have you ever met a Clint that ain't racist? Like, come on. But he feel like, I'm gonna go ahead and get these little, 3-week-old French braids in my hair, and then I'm gonna
look dirty.
But I want you to pay attention, because when he slightly turns his head, right? He slightly turns his head maybe 30 degrees or so. Watch. Just listen. I think back here he has a feather. Like, for real, like an Indian feather. So he's trying. God. So this is your Midwest white kid named Clint that was like, I don't want to watch Fox News anymore, Grandpa. Hey, Paw, I'm not watching Fox News no more. I'm gonna braid my hair and put a feather in the back of my head, and I'm gonna act like I'm everything that you're not.
Right.
Which is what I think most of these people are trying to do anyways. Like, this is just a rebellious stage that you're all in. You know what I mean? And until you actually have responsibilities, you'll be this, left-wing nut job.